What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jules, and today we are going to be replacing the Skunk2 3.5 inch intake MAF housing, and we're also going to be replacing the filter on the car, getting it ready to be retuned. So I'm super excited. Let's jump right into the video. Hey guys, here is the 8thgen Honda Civic Si. You guys are new. Mine is actually a 2011. The last year they made the 8thgen Si. Go ahead and pop the hood and show you guys what we're replacing today. Alright guys, this is my 8thgen Si. This is the engine 2.0. Basically this is full bolt-on tune. Full bolt-on tune for this car because it's NA is basically just an intake, it has headers, and it has an exhaust. That's basically full bolt-ons for this car. And aftermarket intake, aftermarket headers, exhaust, and then getting the car tuned is full bolt-ons. Since this car doesn't have a turbo or supercharger, it's just NA. This is what we're going to be replacing it today. As you guys can see, it has cracks in it, and then we're also going to be replacing the filter. They call this a Skunk2 3.5 inch intake for the 3.5 inch diameter, and then it's a quarter intake because the filters actually goes down. So the intake sucks the air in from down there, and then it goes down into the intake manifold and then goes through all the cylinders. But the reason why I call it cold air intake is because the intake feeds down to the coolest part of the bumper, which is right behind the bumper right there. So that's why they call it a cold air intake, because the filters actually, the intake leads all the way to a cold area where the bumper has gonna have cool air and no sun, and it's gonna be shaded. So that's the reason why they call it cold air intake, if you guys didn't know. So I wanted to explain that to you guys. And I think this came with the intake too, this coolant hose, which is replacing. It's gonna last a lot longer than the OEM crap. So I also have that. So we're gonna start working on jacking the car up, because I'm not gonna take the whole bumper to replace the filter. I'm just gonna take the fender liner out. As you guys can see, I gotta take the wheel off, pull the fender liner back, and then I'll have access to the filter to replace it. So shouldn't take too long. It's just a little time consuming, but let's jump right into the video. Lucky enough, my car is on air suspension, so all I gotta do is hit a button to air it up, and then I could be able to jack the car up. If my car was lowered and I didn't have that ability, I would have to drive it on top of some wood, which would be more time, and then I could be able to jack the car up. But since it's on air suspension, I could just go in the car and hit one little button and raise the whole car up. Before I even start dragging up the car, and since the car is on the ground, it'll probably be a lot easier as well, I'm just gonna change this piece now. So I'm just go ahead and change this out, and after loosening these up, it's probably gonna fall apart because, as you guys can see, it's already messed up right here. So just loosen up these two hose clamps right there with a flat head, unloosen this piece too, flip this whole thing backwards. I'll probably also check the throttle body to make sure there's nothing weird or no extra oil and stuff blow by or anything, and just clean that up. And then after replacing this part, then I'll jack the car up and do the filter. I forgot, here's the new parts. Let me go ahead and show you guys and unbox it so you guys can see. 4-inch inlet filter, that's the part number. It's a pretty big filter. Kind of, as you guys can see, this is the brand new one, but I don't even want to see how the one that's been on there for years look. And then I'm gonna have to get something to open this real quick. The box, and this is the new MAF housing that's made out of rubber. I wish it was made out of a different type of material, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? But it also has the logos for flow and stuff like that. So just gotta remember to put it back how I took it off. And they gave me extra clamp, which is nice. Possibly, yeah, I'm gonna use that clamp, or I might just use the old ones. So the old ones are a lot more beefier. This is small. I don't know what that's about, but yeah. So yeah, so it goes like this. Yep. So as you guys can see, like that, with the bolts lined up. Just got to put it back the same way. So let's start taking this one off and putting a new one back on. All right, start loosening these up. Shoot, they don't even seem tight. I also need a Phillips to take the MAF housing out. Yeah, shit is loose. Plug this out, so you just hold down on this. There we go. This thing, woo! Guess I got some freaking gremlins in there. They didn't want to come out for a sec. I'm saying, what's going on here? Should be able to slide off of it. You have to loosen this one up. Try to remember to keep the orientation that I have them at for the clamps. Push that over there. Yep, like I kept telling you guys. You see his hole is breaking. Just pull it up just like that. And then kind of like flip it out of the way. Yep, as you guys can see, this whole thing fell apart. This whole piece broke off. Like, it's done. Yup. Here it is, guys. This is a sucky part that they made this rubber, but the good thing is it lasts a long time, but every 3 or 4 years maybe you gotta replace it. So yeah, so that's what we're doing today. I don't see anything else to where I'm looking in the throttle body. I don't see really much. I am going to take that little piece off and see what they have, if there's anything in there. But there's the old one, there's the new one. Dang, what a difference. What a difference that is. So yeah, let's take the MAF housing and swap it out into the new one. Make sure it goes back where it's supposed to. And up here is cracking too, which is insane. Where the bolts screw onto, that's cracking. And then the whole thing comes out like this. Yeah, as you can see, even that started cracking, so whole thing's bad. And the MAF looks pretty clean. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. As you guys can see, I'm gonna make sure like the O-ring around the side is clean, is sealing properly. Inside of it has a little bit of dirt and stuff, and make sure I'm gonna clean that up with a rag, just some water. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the MAF back inside of it and make sure the O-ring, as I was cleaning up the O-ring, making sure that seals in here really nice too. Make sure there's no leaks. I'm making sure there's no leaks, that the O-ring is sitting perfectly in there. All around, it's tight. I don't see it poking in. I had a little trouble making sure that it was sealed correctly. So I kind of like put one side in, pushed it back, and then put it on top so I make sure the O-ring sits perfectly. So that should be good. See, when you guys look inside of it, the MAF sits here, so the ear, it gets the ear reading and stuff from this. It hits that little piece up there in the top. There's like a little thing flapping in there at the top of it. Then the air passes by. So that's how it gets how much air is coming through it. So that's pretty neat. Pretty neat design. But yeah, these bolts are good. So all I gotta do is put it in the car, take this clamp off, because the other ones are thicker for sure. It's probably gonna be a lot better. Now we're gonna try to put this back into the car right now. So I cleaned off this, cleaned inside the throttle body a little bit. It's just, I guess, little fumes of the gas, the smog and black smog and smoke and stuff like that was a little bit. Throttle body's cleaned around there, clean inside of all of this stuff right here. So I'm do it this way. Get the MAF, stick it in, snap this part in, then I'm snapping this part, and I'm just gonna push down and stretch the coupler and go down and up, and then it should be all in. So not bad. So and then I just gotta push down. Yeah, twist this stuff in place, push down. Yep, the MAF housing is already in place, which is nice. There we go. There we go. Get my finger out of the way. There we go. Yeah, so basically it was stuck. This piece was like stuck inside of it, so I just used my other finger to pull it up, and then it basically opened it up more, and then I was able to slide the whole thing in. And then now I set up all the clamps, and I just gotta tighten them down, and then we're good to go. So all of the clamps are tightened again. As you guys can see, this thing isn't going nowhere, so I'm just gonna plug the MAF back in. Click, and I should be good to go. Should be good to go. New one's in. Now I just got to replace the filter. We should be good to go. So I just took the wheels off. Man, I love these Mugen GPs. Just taking the wheel off, putting it on. This wheel is so freaking light. It's forged, so it doesn't weigh anything. Basically, I could use like I could just use one hand, guys, and lift this whole thing up. Look, I'm lifting the whole thing up with the tire on there. This thing weighs barely nothing. It's amazing. So putting the wheel on and off, this thing is freaking amazing. Mugen forge, made in Japan. These, you can see the Mugen logo. It says GP. Man, Mugen GP. So it's in Japanese. Pretty sick. Pretty sick, man. Crazy how all of the stuff is being discontinued, not making it anymore, which is insane. But overall, man, super light wheel. definitely probably helps the car driving it on a daily basis with the gas mileage not weighing much and everything, not having put a lot of pressure on the clutch and things like that. Probably helps out a lot. But now we're gonna go ahead and take out some of these clips. So there is one right here, there's one right here, and then there's some at the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking these out. So but some of these clips are not even in here, so it's only basically one of these clips holding it. There we go. Last one's out. So yep, as y'all can see, there's the filter. Hopefully y'all can see that, but kind of hard to see, it was dark. But yeah, there's the filter. It was just hold on, but this one clip right here actually have a problem. So I actually did the oil change a couple of days ago. If you guys follow me on Instagram, y'all saw me do my oil change, and I looked at the pads on the other side. The other side has a lot of meat on the pads, this side doesn't have any. So this one is wearing faster for some reason. So I don't know if this caliper, which is a bigger caliper, needs to be rebuilt. This is a 4-piston caliper, so it has 2 pistons on each side. The factory one only has 2 pistons, so it has 4. So then the stopping power is a lot more better because it has 4 pistons pushing down on the brake to slow it down. But I love these, are pretty good. The spoon calipers are really nice, which is good. But I gotta figure out why these are more wore down than the other side. Like, why is it doing that? So I have to figure that out. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is down. It's like this much left for each side on both sides. Like, it's wearing down bad. But this rotor is done. I have to get new rotors. As you guys can see, the rotors are glazed. You guys can see the lines in them. The rotors are toasted. So yeah, rotors. So I got the clip out, kinda. As you guys can see, the freaking head of the clip broke, I guess from the heat and over time. The head of the clip just broke, so all I did was, and the head of it is right there, and all I had to do was get that tool and just break the whole thing off, and then yeah, I was able to move it. So now the liner is right here, and all I got to do is flip it out of the way from behind the brake caliper and get it out the way. And as we get back here, we got the bag for the air suspension, and then we have the cold air intake with the filter that I'm going to be replacing today. So all of that just to replace this filter, but it's a lot easier than taking a whole damn bumper off and taking more necessary stuff off that doesn't need to be off. But yeah, this is where the definition of cold air intake means, because it's over here chilling in the shade and cool air. And one dope thing is, when you look at the fender liner at the bottom, you can see where the air comes up. So basically, from this fog light, there's little holes in it that you guys probably can't see, but there's holes that pass through there, and there's little vents that goes from right here and goes up into the intake as well. So that's pretty neat that they have, with the fender line, incorporated these little holes so air can get to the cold air intake, which is pretty dope. So now all I gotta do is get the flathead, loosen up that coupler, and take the old one out. Get this thing off and compare it to the old one, because this one looks dirty, crusty. So I don't have to loosen it up too much. And then the whole thing, I should just pull it down, and that's it. Out with the old. This is the old filter. Damn, the new one looks red. This thing looks black. The good thing I see about it is that, man, they got eggs and what is this? Ugh, bug eggs and all different types of crap. The dope thing that I'm glad it isn't, because you see it's rubber all over it. The rubber isn't like there's not a hole in it, it's not deteriorating and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Let me start cleaning out this whole area. I stuck the rag in there, got some of the debris and little stuff out of there. The coolant, my coolant bottle is actually right here, and as you guys can see, it's still full. You guys can see the little shadow of it, of the fluid inside there. What a night and day difference. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but this one looks really red, and then this one just looks black. Yeah, I don't know if the camera's doing justice, but yeah, that one's look black as hell, and then this one looks red. You can actually kind of like see through this one, which is insane. The new one, and just push it up here. Nice. Done. That's what I'm talking about. Man, this thing is, I just need to throw some spark plugs in this thing and get this thing tuned, man. She gonna be running right, man. She gonna be moving. She gonna be feeling like a race car. Guys, go. This is how it looks. Everything bolts up. The whole damn intake is shaking. So yeah, it's not touching nothing. This is just the plastic piece underneath there that's gonna hook up to the rest of the plastic trim. She ain't going nowhere. She ready to run. The whole damn intake is shaking when I wobble it. So we are done here now, guys. Job well done. Big thumbs up. Now I gotta put this car back together. I do gotta take that little piece out. I'm just gonna get some pliers, pull it out, and start buttoning this thing back up. Probably try to find another clip for that top piece of the fender liner. Do not rip up out of me. And as you guys can see, new pass rotors on the way, because I'm trying to stay alive. I ain't trying to die. Shoot, man, oh man, guys, I'm telling you, man. You think one time one of those rear calipers seized up on me, and I was going down that hill. I didn't know it seized up, and I was trying to stop on 3 rotors. This thing does not stop. You're gonna die. Luckily there was nobody in front of me, and I was the only person stopping at the light going down the hill. This car was not stopping. I had to stomp down on the brakes, give her everything she got to stop this thing, because one of the rear calipers seized up. I just had to buy a whole new OEM one and then change it, and I'm going to be changing the next one when we do the rotors and pass too. So stay tuned for a video on that as well. But man, one thing you don't want to play around with them rotors and pads. They wearing out and their joint does not stop. You're done. So this is the aftermath. This whole damn thing is ripping, which I knew was gonna happen. This side is already ripping too, cracking. Even I noticed where the holes are. This is cracking where the MAF is. So might loosen up those, and the MAF is moving around and leaking with all that pressure on it. So yeah, definitely this car needed some maintenance before. I told you guys this thing needs a retune for sure. So maybe, and then y'all can see inside of the little grooves, it's a bunch of like dirt in that thing. Like, it's bad. It's a bunch of little dust and dirt and dust bunnies and crap in here. Yeah, this thing is shot.